Ken.
It's the 18th of July, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Bar mitzvah. What's that mean? He's not a bar mitzvah. He's not obligated in the mitzvah. He can't be. He's 1 year. He's 11 years old. Can he go to daven for the shliach tzibur and be motzi people in the chazaras hashatz? No, because he needs to be obligated in that mitzvah himself. So he can't do it. So just like he's not a bar mitzvah, he doesn't have that obligation. So too the ketanim over here, according to the sumchus, they're not summonable. They're not summonable. They can't be summoned to the Beis Din to answer a claim of collection. It's a.
Mm-hmm. So I assume then if the inheritors consist of a mixture of ketanim and gedolim, that the actual item, say it's an ox. What happened? Oh, say it's an ox. So it would actually belong to the older brothers. It would be under their jurisdiction.
Well, when you say it belongs to the brothers, if it belongs to them, why do they have to give it back? The reason that they have to give it back is because it doesn't belong to them.
All right, well, all right, okay, so I said the wrong way, but you know what I mean. If it's the older brothers that it was left to, doesn't belong to them and they have to give it back. But you can't simultaneously have it having it inherited to the younger brothers.
Yeah, you can't. The gedolim can't say that the ketanim, since the ketanim cannot be summoned to Beis Din, then we also cannot be summoned to Beis Din. No, they can't. The ketanim can't cover and exempt the gedolim of their obligation. Okay. So they don't have. If there's inheritors, then inherited. Oh, just a second.
I'm going to have to call you back because somebody's here right now.
Oh, Martin?
אז כמה זה יהיה על הביקור? על הביקור, על זה?
עכשיו אני אשאל כמה שנים, לא יודע.
אוקיי, כי בסדר.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So.
Have a good trip home.
Okay, now we have a Rashi over here. That's the brisa. That's the brisa. If Asher Gozel returned the item that you stole, that's what it says in the Torah. So the brisa is asking, what's it need to say that you stole? That you need to return the item that you didn't steal. Obviously, you're going to return the item that you stole. So what the brisa is asking, what do we learn from these superfluous words that you stole? So the Gemora is saying we're learning that that if the father guzzled it and he fed it to his children, the children are going to be exempt. And over there, we didn't say that they were katanim, so that would imply that even if they are gedolim, they're going to be exempt in that case. Why? Because the gezel is no longer there, and so that's what the pasuk is telling us. Asher gozel, which the returned the stolen item that was stolen, meaning if it's still there. But if it's not still there, so then then there's no obligation to return it. So that's referring to a case where the father stole it and fed it to the sons. Since the sons themselves didn't guzzle it, so the Brisa says they must be the ones they didn't guzzle it, and also since it's not here, then they don't have to return it. But in the case where it is here, even if the sons didn't guzzle it, the father guzzled in the second case too. But he left it in front of them, so to speak, and we understand that it's still extant. So in that case, if they're gedolim, they got to return it. Doesn't belong to them. They got to give it back. The bezdin is going to demand that they return it. But if they're katan, then the bezdin cannot. They can't be summoned to the bezdin, and the katanim are patur. So now Rashi is going on the words ke'ein shegozal. It's got to be as it was when it was stolen. And this is the Rashi, which is 3 lines from the bottom of the page, in the middle of the line. Ke'ein shegozal. We ask Lu to read this Rashi for us, please. Oh, Lou's got the red mic.
Sorry, I was talking, but you weren't hearing me. My eye is a little bit, it's still not good for such small print.
Okay. No. Oh, I see. Yeah, right. It's hard enough to read Rashi, but
it was only 1 line Rashi. It wasn't 10 pages. The whole page. Okay, Shigazo, like it was when it was stolen. That it was robbed. Koloma im gazela kayamet. If the robbed item still exists, yachzir, he shall have to return it. About ein gazela kayamet, but if it doesn't exist, he'd be pata. Ubidei lake, and there isn't leukma gustavus ella ibanav, only about his sons. This rule only applies to the sons, about whether they can get off the hook if it doesn't exist anymore.
yeah, you see that the in other words, the Rashi's explaining that the Brisa didn't want to say that this drasha can be applied to the Goslin himself, right? That we don't want to say. You think you got a pasuk in the Torah that says, the Goslin, if he gosled something and it's no longer here, so then he doesn't have to. Then he doesn't have any obligation to give it back. That Gemora, the Brisa understood that cannot be the pshat in the Gemora, in the Brisa. Therefore, the Brisa, Rashi explains that the Brisa says it's not referring to the Goslin himself. That wouldn't make a difference whether it's extant or not, but it's referring to the Banim. It's referring to the sons of the Goslin. Them, the pasuk is talking about that if it's, since they weren't the one that gosled it, so they have no mitzvah of heshiv es exel asher gozal, and it's no longer here, so you can't say I don't care whether you gosled it or not, but you got gezel in your possession, so give it back. So that's also a taina, but it's not here. They themselves was the one that ate it. doesn't even in that case, the Brisa says even though they ate it, they're not going to be liable for the full value of the item that they ate. I asking a question. I don't know if Art Scroll has a note about this, but maybe the owner of the item that was eaten, maybe he could take these bonim to Bezdin and say, look, so you don't have to. Let's say the item was a cow, and they ate it. You don't. And let's say a cow, if you go into the supermarket, you'd have to pay $1,000 for the cow. But I'm not asking you to pay $1,000. You didn't steal it. But look, didn't you get some enjoyment and some benefit from eating the meat of that cow? Of course you did. So at least that you should have to pay because you got benefit. So pay for the benefit that you got. Over here, the Brisa would imply that I don't know. It seems like the Brisa is saying that the Torah is saying that they're exempt, meaning they're completely exempt, unless the Torah just seems to mean to say they're exempt from the obligation to give back the full value that the father would be required to do, even if it's no longer extends. But then you have that we had that claim, we had that taina that the sons could say, look, we didn't know that it was stolen. Our father fed it to us. We figured that it belongs to our father, so we were eating what our father gave to us. If we would know, and our father doesn't charge us for the food that we eat, so we figured we're eating something that it's for free. If we would know that we'd have to pay $500 for that meal, we never would have done it. We would have waited for the father to give us something, right? That's what banim do. So I think that might be the reason why they'd be, at least in this case, where the Bryce is talking about the father fed it to the sons. I'm wondering about a case, what would be if the father didn't feed it to the sons? And the sons, if the sons knew that this was something that was gazelled that by the father, even though they didn't gazel it, but they know it's not, they know it's gezel. If they would eat that, would they be putter in such a case also? That would be that they would probably putter on. I think we had a case similar to that before.
No, that's the second part of the brisa where it's chayidim. The problem was that he's ma'achil that he feeds his children. That's the key, because it's not like they did it on their own. In the other case, it's almost like he left it in front of them, and then on their own they decided to do something. Once it was left to them, it's up to them to figure out what's happening with it. If they're
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. The difference between the Reish and the Seifa is that the Seifa is talking about a case. It says Haniach Lifneim, and we understand that what that means is that the item is still here. The sons didn't eat it. So all we're asking from the sons is, you have gezel in your possession that's extent, so give it back. What's going to be their taina? Obviously, they got to give it back. So, but didn't we have a case? We had a case where no, 1 second. Didn't we have a case where the sons inherited something that they thought belonged to the father, and it said that they got to pay basar bezol? Remember that case?
No.
Yeah. It's actually a din of Rava. This is one of the dinim that Rava told us. Amar Rava. The member of Rava starts two narrow lines from where the wide lines begin. Amarava haniach lehem avihem para she'ula mishtamshim bo kol yemei sheilasa. If the father left them a borrowed cow, they're allowed to continue to use the borrowed cow for the extent of the borrowership. In number one.
I remember that.
And it says Mesa, if the cow died on them, ein chayavim b'onseha. They're not responsible for that. Unlike a regular borrower, he said that they didn't take upon themselves any obligation as a borrower because they didn't borrow it. The father borrowed it, so they would be exempt on the onus if the animal died. And then we got a second case, Kisvurim Shalabihim. Here we got a case where they thought that this animal belonged to the father. The Tavchua, the Achlua. And so they said, oh, we got a free meal over here. So they shechted it and they ate it. And then they find out that this animal did not belong to the father. So what's the din over here? How much do they have to pay? Do they have to pay? Says the Bryce, says Rava, Mishamim demei basar bezol. They pay the low amount that this meat would cost. Why do they only pay the low amount that this meat cost? Why don't they pay what they benefited? So Rashi in Dibra Maskil Bazol told us Rashi said over here, Kuludomim, the full price of what they ate, Lo Nishlamu, that they're not going to be required to pay according to Rav. They'll only pay this reduced amount. Why? If they would have known that this was not a free meal over here, then lo habu achle bisra. Then they wouldn't have eaten it. And I guess they didn't go to these boys, they didn't go to college, because everybody knows that in college they say to you, one of the first things they tell you is, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch.
Well, they have to pay. They have to pay.
If you take the what?
They do have to pay, just that they're paying the Zol. They can't, the guy can't rip them off and say, ha, guess what you bought? Hey, no, you could, whatever the cheapest price somebody would pay for it, that they can get by. They have to pay something.
Yeah,
not
right. But you do see from this Rashi over here that they have a claim. They got a claim. They say, look, we thought it was a free lunch. So your economics professor would have said, what do you mean? That's no taina. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Okay, so much for the economics professor. Lahavdil. That's what Rashi says. Rashi's quoting in the Gemora. They have a claim. They could say, we figured that we didn't have to pay for this. And so therefore, that's why they only pay a reduced amount, which is not such a small percentage. Rashi says it's 2/3 of the full amount. And they have to give them back the hide as is. Okay. All right. So now we go weiter in the Gemora. Very good. We go weiter in the Gemora over here to Bar Hamua, the Rebbe Yirmiyah. Gemora is bringing the story over here. Who wants to read the story? Alan, would you like to read the story? Is Alan frozen?
I think so. No, he's not.
To read. Yeah, okay. What page now?
Kufiyat base. Amud Aleph. 112A,
4 on the right side.
page 4 on the right side. The Gemara now relates a story.
The Gemara cites an incident where the preceding dispute applies.
Okay.
So B,
112A4.
A4. So start with what?
The Gemara cites an incident.
All right, right side of the page or what?
The right
Right
hand
side of
column, the middle of it, there's a gap between the two.
You said 112 before?
112A
Right.
and 4.
A minute, okay. Oh. The more recites an incident, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. The Gemara cites an incident where the preceding dispute applies. Bar Mu'ah, the Rabbi Yirmah, Torah, Gateway, Peh, the Rabbi Rabbi's father-in-law closed the door of his father's house in the face of Rabbi Yeruvam. He did not allow her into the house because the rabbi wanted to take possession of it. The Rabbi Ovan, Rabbi Yeruvam came before Rabbi Amen to have the case tried. Amar Rabbi Avin said to him, Shalom hu he is claiming that which is his. Amar lay, Rabbi Yeremiah said to him, my senior Sahar or day the key bay gay but I will produce the witnesses who will testify that I had established a kazaka with respect to the house while the father was alive. Amalai, Rabbi Oven said to him, Avichi Makabalin a dean, but we do accept the testimony of witnesses. Shalom din, in the absence of the litigant against whom they testify. We do not. For this reason, we cannot accept testimony against a minor because the minor is the legal equivalent of one who is absent. I'll do one more small paragraph here. Rabbi Yirmiyah countered below, and we do not accept a testimony against the minor, but if Raisa teaches to the contrary. Bain Gedolim Bain Katani Vin. If a thief died and left stolen property, whether his heirs are adults or minors, they're liable to return it to the owner. Evidently, a minor can be compelled to return property that is not his. Can I continue?
Yep.
Okay, Rabbi Abin's reply, or Malay, Rabbi Abin said to him, Hooray, Machalo, Tes, Suma, Chos, but see the core, but the dissenting opinion of Simchas is at your side. That is, in the very Baraisa you quoted. Simchas states that a minor may not be sued. The review accounted, Omar Rabbi Yirmiyah said, equal, Bolay or more, with core A, Suma Hokus, Kuwa, the Diwa. Did everyone join together and adopt Simcha's position, take away that which is mine? The Gemora relates.
Okay, this it's time actually now. We have various Rashis to catch up on. We have to understand all of this.
Okay. Yeshua. Very good. To be
Thank you,
continued.
Rabbi. Square.
Interesting case.
Take care.
Square Ellen, Square Lou, Square Phil, Square Roy.
Okay, take care.
Thank you. Be well.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Louis,
Tonight's Rosh Chodesh.
Tell them I'm not coming today.
Right,
What's
okay,
this time?
okay. Feel good.
Did you say you were coming?
No, I'm not
No,
coming
who's
to
that?
class
I
at
thought
4
so.
o'clock because I have a
Mm.
repair man coming to fix my stove.
Right, okay. Bye.